Oddworld, Abe's Oddysee, is a 2D puzzle platformer about oppression, colonialism, and the true price of freedom. It's also a pretty good game while we're at it. Abe's Oddysee, as you might figure, stars Abe, a slave working for the Gluckins. Who are the Gluckins? Terrible overlords who enslaved Abe's people and turned the rest of the planet's creatures into various mass-produced snacks for the rest of the universe to consume. There's potent commentary on capitalism and industrialism here, how profit is inherently built on the backs of innocent workers, and capitalists will inevitably destroy everything, including the source of their very own profit, through their insatiable greed. A proud, majestic, rather idiosyncratic race of people was brought low, and will themselves eventually be consumed, because Gluckins have a ravenous, unstable economic outlook that will inevitably eat its own laborers, literally and otherwise. The atmosphere is appropriately bleak, grungy, and grimy as you aid Abe in his escape and the eventual rescue of his entire race. He once thought slavery was normal, but across the course of the game his eyes are opened to the value of his people and their freedom, how they've been living under terrible injustice. It's good stuff, and the gameplay does an excellent job, in most circumstances, of building up that fourth wall. There's a real sense of tension and weight to every puzzle, every moment, every movement. Abe is just a fleshy little guy, and he's contending with guns and carnivorous wildlife and explosives. You feel Abe's fragility with every misstep you make when he's rather catastrophically blown or shot to bits. It's often the case that real-world logic is used to solve the puzzles too, most of them directly involving the limited and deliberate movement mechanics. Speaking of that, the cumbersome, painstaking animations all function on a sort of grid, which ironically not only makes the game look and feel organic and add additional tension to the faster-paced segments, but also makes the puzzles far more readable. Everything has a clear mechanical purpose, just as much as a dramatic one, and there's an incredible complexity to the puzzles when you learn to speak the game's language. There are so many fine details to praise, such as how the game's tutorials and trials teach you to absorb the game's world, metaphorically and literally, just as much as they teach Abe how to be a hero. There's a sense of wonder as you explore a truly alien landscape to learn of its history and people. It's deeply immersive and impressive. It's also not without its dark humor, such as this perfectly timed hint. Throughout the whole game, you're also constantly reminded of the weight of your actions and the weight of the world around you as the veil of ignorance is lifted and you come to face your responsibility as a thinking person. It all feels as real as it does surreal. It's masterful. I've had very few experiences like Abe's Oddysee.